Hello, trading has closed on March the 12th, 2025. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and then make our predictions. It's my trading plan for Thursday. Thursday is March 13th, 2025. Remember, my plans can change, my plans can be wrong. Any trade you make should be made at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early high, that's this. Tomorrow should also have the early high. This is just a review of what we said. We said the commonest thing was the gap, prompt move outside the day's range. We got that. We said there was very strong support at the close. If we gapped up, could go appreciably higher. I wouldn't call this closing appreciably higher, but we certainly went appreciably higher. And in futures, we even went much higher than we did today. And often that's a harbinger of things to come on the upside. We had two targets outstanding, 56.3802, that's this red line. And we had 55.50.38, that's this red line. Both of those printed. Now we said that we came close enough to this line so that resistance was gone. And in futures we traded much higher. And after I saw what happened in futures, I was hoping this would hold as support. Instead it became resistance. We dropped down, got this other target out of the way, and that proved to be support. This might look like magic, but it really isn't. Anyone who gets my webinar or the electronic version of my book could make exactly the same call. We did get a buy signal in the afternoon. That really was enough to satisfy it. This move down was called false. It's already retraced. That's played out. I've been warning repeatedly against taking big short positions when we're printing a weekly bar completely under the lower Bollinger Band. I'm going to repeat the warning. There's no law that says you can't collapse here. Most of the time, though, we don't stay behind this very long. Well, we've been dropping and dropping and dropping. Yesterday we gave all kinds of reasons why this could hold. So far it has held, and we've confirmed this support by trading over this high. Now, this red line was one of the places I thought support might hold. I'd still be happier if we hit 53.87 and change, but there's no law that says we have to. Right now, the next higher level is 56.46 and change. This gray line, that's resistance. So far it's held, but if we take this out tomorrow, which I think is entirely possible, there's no law that says you have to go down here, even though it would make me happier if we did. We still have this wave count showing we've completed an ABC. If that's the right count, we certainly haven't completed a wave higher. And there should be, based on the size of this ABC, there should be a ways to go on the upside. But again, it's all dependent upon this low holding, and if that low falls, you could have an expanded flat here, but more likely would be that that count's not the right count. Right now, it suggests we've completed an ABC and have a ways to go before the decline resumes, if it resumes at all. Well, this is the low back at the end of the COVID low in 2020. When you have one bar like this, that's reversed immediately. You ignore it, at least I do, to get more valid more valid points, we can plot out what's called an Andrews pitchfork. You put one point at this major low, ignoring this. It's an aberration. When the market has this low like this and gaps up over the high, it's the market's way of saying it made a mistake, and you don't count that. And then you put some other points at this major high, and this major low. And we tend to stay within the range. These lines tend to be support resistance level. We broke it briefly there, but it didn't stick. We had more of a break here, but the gap over it shows that it was reinstituted. And not only did you gap over this, you gapped over this, shows that dip is a mistake. And look where we are now. We're right at the line. So we're reversing right at the major support level. And this is a pattern which goes back 5 years. So it's not an insignificant level if it holds. And for years, when on those rare occasions it broke, it got reversed immediately. So it's further evidence I think we're close to a low here if this wasn't it. Even if it could have been, I'm just not convinced yet. So Thursday's pattern is the early high regardless of where we open. The producer price index report comes out before the open. I can't predict the response to major economic reports with a sufficient degree of accuracy. I mean, we could open way down here and kill everything I'm saying. So far, the rejection of yesterday's new low and the wave count both argue for a short-term low here. And today, the VIX reversed through its upper Bollinger Band. That gives a buy signal. The failure of today's normally bearish pattern to close into the low of the day is bullish. Now again, time doesn't run out till tomorrow's open, and if we promptly undercut that low near the open, that kills the pattern. But otherwise, when you don't close near the low in this pattern, you should see higher prices print. Doesn't tell us where you close. Doesn't mean you won't close lower. But if this doesn't close near its low with this pattern, particularly when support's holding, it argues for closing higher tomorrow, and we closed so much higher. We traded so much higher in futures after CPI was announced. I think it increases the chances, doesn't guarantee it, but I think it increases the chances we trade near that level soon. Usually when you overshoot by that much, it gets visited later, though it isn't a hard and fast rule. So we're counting for now on this holding, which certainly isn't a lock. If it fails, then the idea fails. I mean, if we gap under this at the open, we use the rule that says gapping sharply in the desired direction kills the call. Even gapping down sharply without undercutting it, I'd be kind of suspicious. What I'm saying is wrong. But this is right now. All we have to do is hold this at the open, and we should see. And we should see higher prices print tomorrow. Again, I don't know what happens when the PPI comes out, but for right now, support's holding, and that's a bullish pattern. And that's today's call.